Running from the cops is never a smart move. One way or another, they're gonna catch you. And sometimes, the whole thing gets caught on camera forever. So check out these crazy ways the police manage to stop criminals in their tracks. Cops have some pretty solid tricks up their sleeve when it comes to catching people on the run. One of the most common, spike strips. Just watch this clip. The officers acted lightning fast to stop what could have been a wild high-speed chase. Same deal here. The suspect didn't even get the chance to take off. In this next scene, officers went all in to stop the getaway. Using their own patrol cars, they managed to intercept a bunch of different vehicles. That move? Super effective. Now get this, a guy actually stole a police car. Yeah, not the brightest idea. After a chase straight out of an action movie, he had no choice but to give up and let himself get arrested. And then there's this van driver, who acting like he was in a video game or something. Reality check, real life doesn't have a reset button. Seriously, what was he thinking? This guy wasn't cooperating with the officer at all, but not even the cop was ready for what the driver did next. Just look at what the dash cam caught. Even with a flat tire, the guy kept going like nothing happened. The chase went on way longer than expected, but in the end, he was arrested. This type of net is usually used by the military, but the police use it too. And yeah, once it's deployed, criminals really don't stand a chance. Their cars get totally wrecked. Now check out this tool the police used during a pursuit. Pretty wild, right? In broad daylight, officers had to step in and go after some guys who had just pulled off a robbery. Watch what goes down next. The suspects absolutely refused to stop. It took miles of chasing and a tense standoff before the whole thing was finally under control. Hopefully those guys realize crime and running from the cops just isn't worth it. When this guy got caught driving a stolen car, he tried to make a run for it, but his escape plan fell apart real quick thanks to a fast-thinking officer who jumped out of his patrol car and chased him down on foot until he caught him. That day, the police definitely didn't expect so much trouble catching one bold driver. The chase went on for miles and was packed with adrenaline. It seriously looked like something out of an action movie. At first, the suspect seemed to be getting lucky, but this wasn't Hollywood and his luck ran out fast. Motorcycle chases always feel extra intense, don't they? In this one, two suspects ignored a police order to stop and took off instead. See what happened when the bike finally got intercepted. One of the guys got away for a bit, but not for long. He was later caught and taken straight to jail. Now this chase, it was absolutely nuts. You won't believe what this guy tried just to avoid getting arrested, but the cops weren't playing around, and he ended up in serious trouble. On this sunny day, police were after a young suspect driving through a quiet neighborhood, but the kid lost control of his truck and ended up crashing into a church. Yeah, not exactly a clean getaway. He left that place in handcuffs. Check out what went down during this stop. The officers definitely weren't expecting that. But the craziest part, what happened next was even more surreal. What on earth was this woman trying to hide from the cops? Now this officer wasn't just brave. He was lucky too. During a routine stop, he realized the guy in the red car had an outstanding warrant, but the man had no intention of going quietly. What happened next was straight up insane. In the end, the officer wasn't seriously hurt and the suspect was arrested. Watch how the police managed to stop this runaway truck. They didn't even need to catch up to it. Same kind of situation here, but this time the footage came from a helicopter. Still, it clearly shows how law enforcement always finds a smart and safe way to bring criminals down. Night chases are always trickier. In this one, the police used a high-tech tool to stop the car. Pay attention, the officer had to act super fast to avoid putting his teammates in danger, since they were right behind the suspect. You can really see the details of how it all played out here. Doesn't matter how big your car is, if you try to outrun the cops, chances are it's not gonna end well, especially if you've got something to hide. Now look at this wild motorcycle chase. On one side, two reckless suspects. On the other, a gutsy officer doing everything he could to stop them. After several intense miles, you've got to see how this crazy scene came to an end. In this case, the police were called by a woman who was being chased by a crazy driver on the highway. But when the cops showed up, the driver totally lost it and did this. Of course, the police had a way to shut the whole thing down before it got worse. Now check out what happened on this snowy day. The roads were covered in ice, and the cops spotted a suspicious driver. The result? A high-speed chase. Watch the move this guy pulls to try and shake off the officers.
Stop!
Even though he was surrounded, he somehow managed to get away, causing chaos for everyone nearby. Things got super tense toward the end, but thankfully, the suspect was finally arrested. This next driver thought getting away from the cops would be a walk in the park. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. He clearly underestimated how good these officers are. And well, here's how it ended for him. Now look closely at the right side of the screen. During this chase, the car actually flips over. And get this, the driver still tried to make a run for it on foot. Yeah, not his best move.
Where you go? Hey, get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!
How old are you? 30? 34?
Some chases can be really dangerous for other drivers, especially when they happen on busy highways. But that's when the police step in and save the day, like they did here. These officers literally risk their lives to stop things from getting out of control. And now, take a look at this car. The driver was clearly ready to smash through anything in his way to get out of there. But in the end, he pulled this crazy stunt. And within seconds, dozens of officers were on him. Finally, here's a guy speeding like a maniac on a motorcycle. But judging by what he tried to pull off, let's just say he wasn't exactly a genius. And yeah, things did not end well for him. This pickup truck was flying down the road trying to get away. But the cops were quicker, and when the vehicle got stopped, just look at how the suspects reacted. Yep, they jumped out and tried to run on foot. Here's another moment where an officer risked his own safety to catch a suspect, but this guy wasn't giving up without a fight. He really thought he could get away with it. After a long chase, he ended up crashing into a tree and was finally taken into custody. Now this chase was just insane. The suspect actually drove straight into a cemetery. The police followed right behind, and yeah, the whole scene felt straight out of a horror movie. After several intense minutes, the driver crashed and was finally arrested. And then there's the guy in the yellow car. He thought he was being clever, but didn't see that takedown coming. In the end, he had no choice but to give up. Check out how fast the cops moved in to chase down this truck. There were patrol cars everywhere, and the ending of this pursuit is seriously going to surprise you. Did this guy really think he could get away? Now look at this one. The driver thought he was slick and could outrun the police, but pay close attention to the bottom of the screen. He didn't see the trap coming and ended up right in the water. But the guy didn't stop there. He actually tried to swim away. Yeah, that didn't go too well for him. Did he really think that was gonna work? Another nighttime chase almost ended in disaster. The driver was clearly ready to cause a major crash, but lost control and veered off the road. But that's not where the story ends. Take a look at what happened next.
You're gonna get bit! He's running, he's running. Get up! Let me see your f***ing head!
Turns out this guy had a long list of charges, and the police definitely handled it like pros. And just watch how the cops can stop any vehicle with this one tool. The suspect probably had no clue what hit him, but he must have realized in that moment the chase was over. This car had been reported stolen, and there was no way the police were letting the suspect get away with it, so the officers went after him. But then, something totally unexpected happened. After dropping off the owners of the vehicle on the side of the road, the guy tried to make another escape, and actually managed to stay on the run for a while. But of course, the cops came out on top again and took him into custody. Chasing down a suspect on a motorcycle while driving a patrol car isn't easy, but this officer deserves serious credit. Just when it looked like the suspect was about to get away, boom, the tables turned. That guy definitely didn't see it coming. In this case, there were tons of police units going after a reckless driver, but the officers stayed sharp and didn't let him slip away. In the end, he was completely surrounded and didn't even have a chance to fight back. Things seemed under control here, until the driver suddenly decided to make a run for it. You can imagine how that went over with the cops. And in the end, it turned out the driver was actually a young woman.
Wait for me and walk backwards to me. Walk backwards. Back to me!
This next guy thought he had pulled off the perfect escape, and he did manage to hide out for a few hours. But later that day, police found him. When he tried to resist, it cost him his life. Check out this other motorcycle chase. The suspects clearly weren't afraid of the police. One officer even put himself in harm's way, but couldn't catch them. Later on, the suspects pulled this move. Makes you wonder, did they go too far trying to make a point? Here, the officers acted fast enough to lock down the vehicle's wheels and stop the driver from making it onto the highway. Now picture this, a high-speed chase unfolding in the middle of a stunning landscape. Yeah, it looked peaceful, but the scene was pure chaos. After covering miles of road, here's what ended up happening to the suspect.
Put your hands out to the side! Hands out to the side, don't move! Oh, yeah, walk in front of them. I'm coming around, I'm coming around.
This guy robbed a department store and thought he'd get away with it, but when the chase began, he did something totally unexpected. Even the cops were caught off guard. Seriously, there's no shortage of wild behavior out there. What was going through this guy's head when he pulled that stunt right in front of the police?
Right, 69. 68 not from front.
He was with someone else and tried some crazy maneuvers to escape. For a second, it looked like he might pull it off.
It's spinning out. Now it's facing the right way. It's in the ditch.
But nope, the plan flopped and both of them were arrested.
Just over the train track.
Which one?
They're taking the passenger in custody and they're still talking to the driver. And they're taking both into custody right now.
Now look how this suspect tried to escape on a busy highway. Yeah, not the smartest move. In the end, it cost him big time. But this story gets even more surreal. The man pulled out a knife and threatened to take his own life. In the end, he gave himself up, and thankfully, no one, not even the suspect, was seriously harmed. Now try to make sense of this one. A child, or someone really short, jumped out of the vehicle and took off running, and they were armed.
Get the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
This suspect seemed totally lost and tried to trick the police any way he could. Even with flat tires, he kept driving like he still had a chance. But of course, he eventually got boxed in and taken down. This chase was absolutely wild. The suspect was completely out of control and did everything he could to avoid getting arrested. Just look at what happened here. And even after all that, the guy kept running, this time on foot. This one was a high-speed chase through the suburbs of a small town. The driver in the red car put a lot of people in danger.
Now heading south on Wallace Street.
Eventually, he ditched the car and tried to escape some other way. This scene looks straight out of a video game, a high-speed chase through narrow streets at night with a cop on the tail of a motorcyclist. The chaos ends right here, and shortly after, backup arrives to take him down. Now look how this intense chase ended. The car crashed and burst into flames. The driver survived, but he probably regretted that reckless decision the moment it happened. What was supposed to be a routine stop took a wild turn. Thankfully, the officer's dash cam caught everything. In the end, the driver was arrested and no doubt spent quite a while behind bars. Check out this officer's driving skills. He totally shut down the suspect's escape. But the guy wasn't done yet. He jumped out and tried to run on foot. Unreal. These cars were flying down the road in the middle of a chase. The police were after some suspects and weren't about to give up. Watch what happens on this quiet street. After a few more tense moments, the wild driver finally lost control.
Okay, roll over. Or correction, you got him pitted out. Pitted out.
People, fit it out a little more, very.
And just wait until you see who was inside the car. Even with a flat tire, this driver tried to outrun the law. He pulled some seriously dangerous moves. But the officers stayed sharp and used their training to stop things from getting worse. This next suspect floored it, doing everything possible to avoid getting caught. But the chase ended in the most unexpected way.
431. I need medic.
Just look at the state of the car. The police were quick to move in and arrest him. You think he got hurt? And finally, this chase was just insane, borderline ridiculous. Look at the mess this driver caused in the neighborhood, but the police didn't go easy on it. They did exactly what needed to be done.